looking at regionalization. Currently we have a regionalization effort that's going on. Dauphin County, which is an existing system, and Adams, which is being implemented, are actually going to link together, not only having redundant master sites on their own, but being geographically redundant. And it allows for other counties in the areas to use not only the existing master site, so that they don't, not everyone has to buy their own master site, but it also allows for better interoperability and different ways of doing backup systems with each other from a dispatch standpoint.
You would still maintain your own PSAP as it is today.
A little bit about a year ago, there was even discussion that was going on between Dauphin and Lancaster and Brownstown.
And that didn't work out though, did it?
No, and actually, even in my understanding in this regionalization effort, and there are meetings that happen from the director level of the EMA, that Lancaster is actually not participating in it. So I'm not sure what happened, but I understand that Dauphin is looking very proactively as far as the radio system goes, and even their PSAP, they're looking at trying to share that. They understand that Lebanon has redundant systems, and they're looking at...
Are they looking at, I mean,
Yes,
are they expressing interest? Why haven't they expressed it to us? Or at least to our
I think the discussion,
our people.
yeah, I think the discussion happens at the regional meetings, and that's been quite recent this year.
All we're doing is coming here saying, this is something that you may want to consider.
Your existing Maycom/Harris system that you presently have today, Harris has announced that the system's end of life. If you are not aware of it, the system that you have is a proprietary system. Project 25, which is an APCO, everybody's heard of the organization APCO, said let's make some standards. And then finally they got their committees together and said, all right, this is the standard, and everybody signed up to it. This is how we're going to communicate over the air. This is the protocol for a digital radio system.
By the way, you're sunsetting here, or end of life, whatever you want to call it. Motorola's in the same boat as Harris. Our technology that is equivalent to Harris's, we're in the same boat. Okay, we're end of life. So is everybody else out there. But now we're creating this new technology called APCO 25. In Motorola's case, we call it Astro. Right now, our current guaranteed support levels are past 2030. So if you were to buy a system today, you would have approximately 20 years that Motorola would be able to say, we will guarantee that that system is supportable. Now, instead of saying you're going to have to do a forklift, what we're going to say to you is you're going to have to invest in your system. You're going to have to do life cycle services to replace the routers, and to replace some of these other odds and ends. Software. If a software is no longer supported by the person who wrote the code, we're going to put new software in there. So the concept has changed from what we were into planned obsolescence, i.e. forklifts, into a system that evolves.
If you have to do something today, no.
End of life doesn't mean it stops working at the end of that 2014 timeline.
No.
It means that you're now aware that service is going to go away, parts are going to go away, all those things in 7 years, it looks like.
Real quickly, I don't want to get too wrapped up on this. All it means is no more guarantees of parts availability.
Okay.
Whenever you decide to pull your trigger, if it's this year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, always remember, it's 18 to 24 months. You're going to live with the system you have after you pull the trigger.
Today, all this connectivity is here at a high capacity OC3 link throughout the entire 8 counties. It's here. All the connectivity is here.
For I-Cores, and I can only speak to that one right now, it's approximately $200,000 a year. So as we said before, if you have a 20-year life cycle, you're going to invest $4 million over 20 years, keeping that system current. In the case, if it was your own system, you would spend the $4 million. Currently, they're going to have 4 counties in there, so they're putting $1 million investment into that. If I'm here in Lebanon and I want to talk to Dauphin, because I got a guy who just went crazy, and he may end up at Dolphin. I can call over to Dolphin and let him know what's going on here. So there's a lot of really positives from a cost perspective. There's positives from operational perspectives that are able to be realized through the regionalization approach. But
Talking about each county maintains dispatch and control of their own local resources. They're basically, you are your own. You're part of a large system, but you still day to day, you're doing your own thing. As
Mike?
Jim said, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
The one question I get asked more than anything else is, okay, a regional system. In the case of I-Corps, or in the case if you were part of the regional system, and your master site is down in Dolphin or it's in Westmoreland, what happens if the connectivity breaks or that site breaks? How does that affect my system? It does not. Your system will continue to trunk, and you will continue wide area simulcast. You will still have public safety communications throughout your county. We can actually work it in such a manner that we're able to continue to use the consoles in your 911 center in the case of that type of that major failure. So it's something that's important, because people say, it's not my county anymore, I lost control. And people have a hang up with that. But the fact of the matter is, the systems are designed in such a way with the level of redundancy that we can make sure that it doesn't hurt your system to the point it deems your public safety inoperable.
You don't have to go with a Motorola system to be part of a region, right? You can get any P25 system, and the P25 systems can be hooked up. The solution we're bringing forward to Lebanon is understanding the costs, savings, right? We believe that from an economic standpoint, right, joining an existing master site, not having to pay into that, understanding that the counties that have that master site now are looking to share service costs, right? So you don't have to buy into the master site, you just have to share the cost to maintain it moving forward. But that has a significant savings to the county.
Cambria may join it via the consoles, okay? They may not put in a new radio system, but they may put in radio consoles that control their system, but also allows them to be part of the I-Corps network. They can take advantage of backup 911 centers and things of that nature.
You sit out here, Lebanon County, with your EDACs, and we'll refer to the master as the core. Okay, that's the core of the system, and you have all your tower sites off of that throughout the county. Dauphin County's sitting here now since '06 and signed that contract. They have their core up and running. It's been running very well, flawlessly. They have 16 sites out there. They have 18 console sites in their dispatch center. Franklin County's sitting down here. That's been in service now for, I guess, about 4 years, going on its 5th year. They have 7 P25 sites and 7 console sites. Tomorrow, and we've already talked to Franklin County, they are very interested in this. One reason is they haven't kept up with their life cycle. So they have been maintaining it in kind of the same thing. They're just not, they have not invested in it. So they're realizing, hey, this may be a benefit. So the first is Adams County is in deployment right now. That's coming up. We have 19 P25 sites and non-console sites down there. Adams and Dauphin today are talking presently. And they put their system together with the intent of joining up to Dauphin County. Down the road, if you would be interested, we take away your master site, upgrade your tower sites from the EDAX system you have now to 10 P25 sites, 12 main, backup microwave system that is very robust. All the connections are there to happen. It's there today. So that's the regional concept, and that's what we wanted to bring you folks up to thinking about.
I've done numerous systems where we do one-for-one replacements from an analog technology to a digital technology, and every customer has been happy.
You know, you keep saying that, but I don't know that we have analog anymore, do we, John? It's all been changed to digital.
We have part digital, half digital.
Half
The
digital.
police department's digital.
Yeah, you have a
Fire
technology.
departments and EMS are on
The
analog,
EDAX is
and
digital.
police departments are digital. And that's the way
Say
it's
that
been.
again.
The police departments are all digital, fire and EMS are analog.
fire and ambulance or
EMS,
analog?
ambulances, yes. They're analog.
And what they've done, Commissioner, because I know you don't, you followed this whole thing, is the digital side of EDAX is using an analog modulation pattern. We can go along, that's an hour's worth of discussion, but it's an analog radio that is putting a digital modulation on it, is all it is. All the newer technology, and everybody's going with it, is truly digital radios and using a technology that's quadrilateral modulation, another big technology thing here. But through
I'd like to touch on really, you actually got that quite right, has to do with the pricing that we put forward to you, right? And the options that are in here. One of the other options, as we were asked by Dan, was, well, you know, we're thinking about putting in a new dispatch center, and it might be an existing building, but you know, until we get done with that, we really can't, you know, really think about doing this. And if we were to move forward with the county, right, we have the ability to provide a lease, not only for our equipment and for joining that system, but as well for renovating or purchasing a new building, and roll that all into a lease as opposed to the county having to go to a bond. And Jim can probably speak to the lease much better than I can, but we do have a, is it a non-municipal bond?
It's a tax-exempt lease. Some customers find them very advantageous. The tax-exempt lease do not get counted typically toward county debt, so it becomes attractive in some regards. We get a reduced rate, we get a tax break because you're tax-exempt, so we're able to offer very low rates. I'm not saying they're the lowest rates in the world, but if you ever want to pursue that option with us, we are always willing to provide you a snapshot in time. As you know, rates change on a weekly basis, so it could be X today, Y next week, and double Z the following week. So, but it is something we offer. We have an internal group called the Motorola Credit Corporation. We deal with Bank of America and some other folks, and that's a service that we offer our customers. The only thing I will say about it, it provides very flexible financing.
Is there a dollar buyout at the end of a certain point in time?
You can buy the lease out at any time with no penalty. So at the end of the lease period,
Is it ever paid
you
off?
own it.
Is it? You did at the, and then what is the lease
Yes.
period again, how long?
However long you want it.
We
We quoted 5, 7, 10. We can go longer if you wish. What I don't recommend customers do, if you buy an infrastructure, I have no problem recommending 15 years. Okay?
And you have the ability to bundle everything, is what you're saying.
Franklin, and you asked that, Franklin County did take advantage of that, and then they wanted to do a rehab on their one building downtown, and they rolled that and bought the lease out and rolled it into a bond, is the way they did it.
Yeah.
So it was like a year or so into it, and they decided, okay, we're gonna bond this bigger project, and just put the radio in and buy the lease out.
The other way it works, Fayette did the same thing. Fayette just signed a lease with us. The other thing they will do is they will restructure your lease one time. So, and the only reason we limit it to one is because the cost of restructuring a lease is a lot of money on us. But we will do that once through the term, once at no cost.